All right. So we again, Kijungu, to this special first conference call, dedicated to, in memory of Mfoome Stephen, who will have been here, especially during this conference call to lead us through and help drive the first vision. I really want to thank everyone who is already here. Yeah, let's see what we can do. And at the same time, just keep in mind, we'll surely be mixing both in English and Lamso just to make sure that we cover everyone. Most of the time, people come in and they struggle to get what we are saying. So it's not because we don't want to speak in Lamso, but let's try to cover everyone by using both languages. So that's just the brief welcome I just wanted us to have. And then before we go ahead, I'll just appeal that we have a minute of silence, and I'm trying to look if there's anyone here who can help lead us in prayer after that. If there is someone, I don't see Reverend is here yet. I don't know if there's someone who will be willing to lead us in prayer, just indicate. A brief prayer. Okay. All right, then I'll try and do that then, since there's no one, so that let's at least get going. So let's have a minute of silence, and then after that, we'll then go ahead. I'll finish that with prayer. Okay, let's go, minute of silence.
Hey, how are you? I initiated the transfer already. Oh, you did? Washington Hospital Center.
Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this grateful day. Lord, everything is given by you, and everything you provide for us. We come this day to remember a giant among us whom you have called, and we pray that you should grant him eternal rest and help us continue to live a vision that he had for all of us. We ask all of this through Christ, your Son, our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
All right. So, thank you, everyone. So I'll just, I'm sitting as, I've worked with Mfoome for so long as the coordinator of the First Vision, and he actually did put me into this role, but played a big role to guide and mentor me on how to keep it moving. So I'll just be able to just give a brief overview of what happened during this period. There's also a lot that was done, but the president will be coming in to also talk more, especially in regards to the impact on SODA at large, right? So I'll just talk briefly on those aspects. Let me pull up my file. And one thing that Mfoome used to say a lot of time, which became so strong, was he dreamt of so as an Eldorado. And for those of you who maybe don't familiar with Eldorado, it's like a city that has everything it needs and doesn't need to ask for something somewhere else, because his vision was, so he's talented, if we can all come back and give the best of our abilities to Nso, we'll be able to build a city that will be likened to Eldorado. So he was not just a leader, he was a visionary, a mentor, and a selfless servant dedicated to the progress of Nso. We all know his contributions actually span multiple organizations and initiatives, and all of these were aimed in uniting, empowering, and uplifting Nso people, most especially. And that comes when you look at the Nso first vision, what it was all about. The stress was we may be different, maybe in our ways of religion. We may be different in our thinking in terms of politics, but the key thing was that we should rise above those differences and do just what's best of Nso by putting Nso first all the time, right? We know that in SODA, he plays a key role in strengthening the association. And from my angle, when I was still the president of Family Union Europe, that's when I really got to know SODA that much, because he was working to ensure that we in Europe understand the importance of an umbrella organization, and also linking Family Union Europe to Boy Family Union in the US. So that was one way of reaching out to associations out on so that we all come under one umbrella. The first vision became not just when it was conceived in Bafusam, it was just an idea. And as they always say, having an idea is one thing, but implementing it is another thing. So he actually pushed the first vision, and with the team that he put together initially, most of you are here. The very first team that tried to think of what can we do, how can we translate this vision into an idea that became a movement, and has contributed a lot in different areas, be it from the COVID-19 support, from a lot of work that we'll be also hearing from the initiatives. So the first vision became not just a slogan. It was not just a slogan. It became a movement uniting people across the globe. And it's quite interesting that we had people as right down from South Africa that were participating in most of the initiatives. There are some people joining us here who have also worked with Mfoome at this the humanitarian service he started, SHUMAS. I'm sure a lot of development projects happen there, and I'm sure we'll hear from them as well. Maybe some input coming in from that angle. Apart from these areas, there was also a lot in terms of mentorship and leadership development. And as I was saying, the role of I wasn't really so aware when he asked me to be the first coordinator. One thing was the mentoring I had that time on how to manage the number of people that I had to work with. And that is one way that we did succeed. And of course, I came to also meet lots of people, young people, and lots of people who have been talking a lot about his mentoring. So his leadership was not just at the level, but at the individual level, there was a lot that he was doing based on the testimonies we have seen. So today, as we are going to be reflecting on his legacy and be reminded that the work he started is definitely not finished, we'll definitely have to figure out how can we continue with this, because I'm sure the things he look for are the things everyone from SO is dreaming of, right? How can we make SO better? So it was the great vision that he has, the vision of having SO as an Eldorado. But we make plans, but ultimately God decides. And now that he's not here with us, we have to figure out how to carry going forward. So that's just a brief overview, but we'll be hearing more once we hear from most of you that are present here, as well as from the president of SODA. Yeah. So I'm just looking on my chat and to see if the president is here, but
yeah, I'm here for me.
All right, thank you, President. Yeah.
No, sorry, I was in. They called me for an emergency at the work site, so.
Oh, sorry about that.
I had to hurry to be here.
Yes. Okay. Not quite understanding. You are just on time because we are looking forward to have you here. What we have done so far is just a welcome and then a brief overview, but there's definitely more to come from your end, especially in regards to Mfoome's contribution, as well as a general address to everyone that is here. So, Tracy, if you are ready, I'll just allow that to you. You can take over.
Okay. Thank you very much for me. But we are comfortable with English, right?
Sorry?
As everybody was comfortable with us using English language, right?
Yes, we are mixing English language. I feel English on alarm, so just to make sure that so very
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mfoome, and thank you everyone that I've seen online. I'm pleased to have noted that we have up to 22 of us online. And when I scanned through, I saw some of the regular names that used to feature when the Surface Vision started and when a lot of brainstorming was still going on. I'm very grateful that those same people are online and that the interest has not died down. I'm sorry I'm coming this late. Like I said, I had an emergency to attend to. I had to hurry to make sure that I don't keep us waiting. When I saw the initiative that the coordinator for me, Bati, kickstarted when Mfoome departed from us, I saw it as a very excellent opportunity for us to bounce back. And I want to take this opportunity to thank Mfoome Bati for the role he played right from inception, the coordination work he has done, and the fact that he has particularly made sure that there is no shift from the vision. He has stayed focused on what exactly we laid down as a foundation. And when he informed about this meeting, I just had a few things that came to my mind. Some of them kept bothering me. Last night, even when I got up in the night, I spent a couple of, close to 2 hours not sleeping. And I kept asking myself a lot of questions. And the first question I asked myself was, okay, SHUMAS is no more, he's gone. We are coming together to honor him. We are coming in memory of him. And I just told myself, if we are really coming together to honor him, to reflect in his memory, then the first thing we should do, especially when it comes to the chairpersons of the initiatives and the team that they work with, the first thing we should do for SHUMAS is to have an introspection of what role we have played so far and what role we are ready to play to make sure that the dream remains alive and to make sure that the vision doesn't die down. Because if today NSODA is gradually getting on her feet, we cannot claim that NSODA is already on her feet. NSODA is almost on her feet. Is because around 2017, as earlier, right from 2013, SHUMAS started laying the foundation. He started projecting a dream, how he thinks that NSODA should be restructured to be, how he thinks that things could go best. When this structuring was done, he had to sell the idea abroad, from what he told me. He had to travel and meet BFU and talk with the leaders of BFU at that time. I think Sheikh Louis Ntassim was leading at that time. He had to come over to Europe and talk with the NSODA community in Europe, where at that time, Mfoome was leading. And the purpose was to make sure that the dream he had or the ideas he had should be sold across the board to all NSODA minds that think development, and to everybody that want to see things change. I am describing Mfoome SHUMAS as a transitional president of NSODA. The transition from a system that was later to be described as problematic, because like we are saying now, people started complaining that, oh, all the governance was around Kimbo, all the governance was around Tonso, all the governance was just too centralized. He is the one who decided that the governance of NSODA should be across the whole Solan. It is still very difficult for many people in NSODA to understand, because they are still trapped in the old vision. And that is what is making many village development associations not to even understand where we are going to, no matter how we are trying to sensitize and preach. So if he conceived this and took it out, sold it to us, the minds that work out development in the diaspora bought the idea. He went as far as signing memorandum of understanding with BFU and was working on NFU and so on, galvanizing right down to South Africa and right down up to Asia. It is because there's a direction he wanted us to follow. When I read the Constitution of NSODA the other day again, I saw it written there very well, that the services we are supposed to be rendering for NSODA do not have a salary. It's a humanitarian service. So I say, if he has structured all of this, now he is no more. We are coming to sit down in memory. We are coming to sit down to honor him. We are coming to reflect. And I told myself last night, what I can plead with us individually is to have an introspection and ask ourselves, are we really on the path of the vision SHUMAS dreamed of? Are we along that trajectory? And are we ready for it to continue? Why am I asking this question? If you look at it very keenly, the various initiatives, some of them are already active. Some are still to realize their vision. Talk less of working, meaning that there is still so much work to be done. A lot of work to be done. There's still some serious restructuring to be done. There is still a lot of brainstorming to be done for us to come back to the table. This time, not coming back like we were doing at first, trying to know, okay, like for this initiative, what are the things that we should do? What if we were to act like this? What should happen? We are coming back now introspectively to say, we had already brought these ideas together. What should we do to make them work? That's the introspection I am requesting from everybody, and especially the chairpersons of the various initiatives. That will be the bedrock for our re-strategization, for us to re-strategize. I'm sure Shay Soyuni Lawrence is here. I want to use the Sport Renaissance Initiative as an example to make what I'm talking stand out. If you look at the Sport Renaissance Initiative, for example, it has a carefully written, how do I call it? There's a clear vision with clearly spelled out objectives and goals. But if you go into the platform where issues related to that initiative are supposed to be discussed, you realize that they have been overshadowed by individual agendas and not that collective communal spirit that our initiatives were founded upon. That is why I'm appealing for introspection from all of us, so that we should not just come like any ordinary tradition to give SHUMAS an honor of sitting as we are sitting in today. It should be real honor given to him, and that honor will make a lot of sense when beyond this, we take his dream, we take his vision, we take that which he left with us and move ahead. If we do that, we would have given him a lot of honor. If we, beyond this, embrace the disease that is eating deep into the SOC community, the backbiting, the fear of seeing a project work because it is being handled by A or B, the spirit of struggling to have the self grow above communal spirit, projecting individuals above community. If we do not stop along or pursuing those type of mindsets, then we would not have done SHUMAS any honor. Last night, I had a very long time reflecting about him. And the question I asked myself was, why did this man come lobbying and negotiating, talking to me and doing everything possible for me to take NSODA at this turning point where the whole kingdom is boiling? Because there's nobody that would have loved to be the leader of NSODA during this kind of crisis moment. After a lot of reflection, I said, okay, none of the kings or the Shufais and so on that are in SOC knew that they can be arrested one day and put where they are. So if we look at things from that direction, then we say the assignment the gods have given us individually, the assignment that is in our hand during this period, we are a generation that has been brought to bear a great challenge. The assignment we have is to see things work despite the challenges we have at hand, despite the rough socio-political atmosphere. We have the challenge to see things work. We have the challenge to rise above these problems we are having. If we do not face them as a united people, it will not work. And I'm afraid we have many people around us who seek to make sure things don't work. We have many people within the community whose primary agenda is to make sure that they go between, not with the good news. They go between to make sure, okay, they should create friction between the coordinator and the chairperson. They should create friction between the president and his predecessor. They should create conflict here and there, so that at the end of the day, the whole machinery is not working. The engine is not steaming. Things don't seem to work. And you ask ourselves, what is wrong? You don't have an answer. If we understand that that is a virus that is eating us, then we as chairpersons of the various initiatives, and we who are here as the frontline leaders, these 24 people I see in here now, if we were to consider ourselves as the frontline 24 members who hold so at heart, then we should be vigilant, very, very vigilant, not against the boys in the bushes, those who are having the guns. Be vigilant against the virus that eats us. And the virus that eats us is from within. And they do it in a great way, manipulating minds. Manipulating minds to the point that you can be moving together with a fellow colleague as a community, only to turn around and see that you are moving alone. What happened? He has been intoxicated with wrong ideas. So without so much to pull us with a lot of talks, I wish to once more thank all of you sincerely, because this first vision is gradually being understood by the community. Many people now call me to say, we now understand SODA. And SODA was understood by a very narrow circle. Many people did not know SODA at all. Many people looked at SODA like a Njangi group, a group of elites, a small group of elites. Some people even think that a small group of elites who are hijacking the community. It is now that people are beginning to ask questions. I am happy that even some of the people who used to be problematic now call me and they say, question, I say, thank God you have understood. Because if they didn't understand, they won't even come in. They'll be preaching, but the ideologies that should split the thing down so that it should never work. We are not yet on our feet. Let us not pretend. SODA is not yet on her feet. Somehow, there's been so much noise in the social media. That noise has it's like a two-edged sword. It has helped to spread SODA. It has helped to get the youth, many people ask questions among themselves, get answers, quarrel over them, and then settle. At the same time, it has helped to slow down where we should have been going to. But let us now capitalize on the fact that it has redirected people to be reasoning and thinking and bringing up suggestions. The challenges are still there. We can't do without them, but we need to repackage ourselves. That is my plea. So that with each initiative should really sit down again, repackage itself, take an idea and make sure it works. Take an agenda and make sure it works. Reduce the burden, reduce the reflection time that the coordinator has. Because when the various initiatives are inactive, the coordinator won't even know where to begin, because he cannot go down to the base to do work from there. He is supposed to hear what you have conceived, hear, reason with your suggestions, we talk like this and see where to go. So, summarily, If we are meeting today because we want to give honor to SHUMAS, honestly, we should give him honor by reactivating his dream, what he had and what he thought as a development trajectory for the Nsor community. If we do that, we would have given him the honor he deserves. Because if we sing the best praises for him and we talk well about him, and then we retract and do nothing, I'm not sure his spirit will be comfortable. I'm very happy with the way our coordinator has progressively pushed the ideology of the Nsor First Ambassadors. It is stabilizing. And I'm sure a little agitation again will make things be excellent. So let me not keep us so much. We'll still be talking and interacting as we are going along. Once more, Mfoome, thank you very much for the coordination and for all the initiative chairs. Thank you very much for what each person has done. I'll only plead that where you feel like work is pressing on you, there is no time, or if you feel that your whole department needs restructuring, please do not fail to reach out to the coordinator and to myself to say, okay, this is what we think we can do to get things work. So thank you very much. Welcome all of you. Good evening once more. And may the soul of Mfoome find eternal rest.
Very President General, very. So, President Yomine, one of the key things is to honor. For me, the key thing is we'll have to ensure that we keep his vision alive. Very for that, President General. Allowed to the next point, we'll add reflections from a close friend for me, Takwa or General Finland. But before Mola Batifa, we shot to Wijum more. We yana we are more now Akikene so far, just for who keep even up to date. Akikene a brief overview of some key areas, but now I do get into depth for President General. Then of course Akikene a minute of silence just at the beginning. So my urine for President General Yuri for me, Zubalang Takwa. For me as a radio ball, Lama Taku for some reflections for us on the giant that Mfoome Stephen was. Very
time for me, Bati. Very President General when I with them very more than laughing. Couldn't bear time for me without informing some. For Kilinka form of Jimaku Yonga Jisba. Yoga kum tam for me Steve Bomake Mkuyonji or Mdufambis for Yonga Ji Uhanakijung before Kita Fay for Senathan Benyasi Yonga Ji as Yonga in the past tense. Mlolonji, mlada very brief bit more. Nyovem kata sweet President General ko articulating. Young G. Kinyoka Kunke, kids G. Time for me, Steve. You order weird so chacha mosen lay for Kalinkas and Lakin. So would Wiro Wong, the child of the world, Malum Young. Our being here attests that Mfoome Steve was a man of the people and a child of the world, more very young. Muki time for me for Ngwakele. Amolo Mayen won. We only order very close. Movel or Naja Bowa Mate to say. He was very a respectable gentleman, Malum Young. When I joined African Union then, lim am fun am my sinish could do and we may answer the only can atane, and we re-established that friendship. Then in 2014, during the cultural week on SHUMAS organizing, new we koi we ba can be kid very jangmo and for so for moketu, which I was very reluctant be more, unlike some people, or I was not ready for it, and I didn't know. That was some of the things I could never expect. Dr. Boulame Shea Boulame Grevenbo Boki attested to this. But the first point from young Kita young DG and some keen time for me, you must for Takabu a coty ali mo ko so lam fo jadu yam you very ta yi men to me and time for me Steve and Shea Pius would defend Nalo key you know show him. Modre very surprised somebody but very downcast. But was soon in more. Yonji kavaka yin mo kedra ke tavera mo tavesi mali malim yamo was limre ke juju. Uni you about mo. But I won't know yenam yomo ve mo wa ye. So I saw a developer. I saw a calm brother. I saw a very focused somebody. Everything he discussed with me that day remained in my heart till today. He talked of recognition, but he said, this is our work, we don't do it for recognition purposes. From that time, the time for me, Menagan Kukamon. Mkwenbam moved to Nigeria, Uloa Jangmu, almost on a regular basis. And I can tell you, we did a mad and Fenji. The way we did him, we needed the way Ulo Jangmu had to tell you more a seeking advice. Is this just humility? Or is there anything he wants to get from me that I still do not understand? Time for me, the way we will consult people, we take a decision. We have expertise in that expertise for achieving the collective goal. Which is very different from many people when you come across. I'm gata yongji, I'm loyal faking. Kem ye sanga de chifari emotion, I'm ye sharing ki dan konkong. So that lamiti me yo ya dan konkong, man summarize him taonji. Do time for me the great loss. A great loss konkong. And for more in particular, be more gamsiba bowadu. Ujang movie one sonet. I'm dropa agane tumbi movie. We only mkfan bam me wum kujang even wasonet. We only do wasonet unta a new movie maki. A new movie uyongan kemi nari. And the sanya sonet about the initiatives. Bom kunjansa killing for the peace initiative over very pushy. Uyong moje mkia ji nyoga ki coin imbo ondo keta 1,000 cardinal nyoga coin anti yen anti show eve one wa mai se sanga kan feke show biamo wira mo se binina nyomo do atacham vira one wa wokia the whole night go ferata bira anti one wa again in a very calm manner. You look for some detail maki be mo yono wenje mo wasanga the first part mo we on sunene ya binene for bam for me bati refen uki part of that be mo around the sunena meeting we show so we new show very in a crisis situation very yonje hostage crisis situation very very okay. I will always remember time for me because his calmness was so enriching. You can say, we lume soon in a cop. Ave even you, I once I been truly kuri with them. Would the most calm person. Are ye, yamta ye, young wiki, you moki koi, I would have more okay, no koi. I will ye ferry. Be my ye, you win. I will eat the I announced a year and nothing wrong. Our kera, Jagaba Monza, Monza or Yesui. He consulted with me on almost everything. And he pulled me to say, I've heard what you've been doing. Let's continue doing this. Whether it was the palace reconstruction, whether it was the reconciliation on issues and so far before this crisis began. I can fake more come get ye ferry when it and key. 2016 Christmas and New Year, the time for me, Uduni is gone. We on a dra in me on jongela. For building the bridges, can say you will can. I very really careful, but one for Fiji. There are certain things that these things will, if a certain, I know we meant to, and I will ever drill and for some more for, or where you just see we more, see we are there for young bay, the way we are divided. So, why, no more here with summon so a be a more division or zen, a cracks a danko, Mumakamangan, we come at analysis, but only you made them you were yellow analyzing again. Can you with some rules? So now I know because of the cracks we've seen in our life. A time for me, dream away very good. We yell, but I will recover. We pretend you can get one. A cracks is very long, but like in the peace process, it is not an event. It's a process. It takes 1 week to destroy, and it can take 1,000 years. 1,000 days to reconstruct. Nta yongji, some toma the legacy time for me. Yang mo President General yongone for reflecting like mo yin. For reflecting just the largesse or carry the big heart. We don't lose us in time. We know yaji. We all lay bam. Sung nene, paki ke sung nene, una action. Listen, bunne for kvar tomnen. Lord, kusunu me lie or license kvar. He will sacrifice his family and all whatever for 4 years. The so. Mkita sunen. Shedjilem le yongje. Listen, you see this opportunity for reflecting more time from President General sunen. Allo reflecti la yo reflecti a kan yo ke yi dinara kan dinun. Listen, young rigi who you're doing, pour dra a wake up call. A heroes when so I will not tang him on ba bodrefo. Listen, what team of unbam. Tom Kvara, Tom ideas of your more lemon, his legacy by taking from where he left and moving more into action. One of the things, lo share one and ambime, yonye, listen when so you bo is for an ambume and nenfei. Mumu more fun so there's a yes one in coco. Listen soon in coco. Ala soon in from bay, I don't know sure you bad ala. Listen reflect your ruji, listen sala soon in coco, biology action with a manuin sakoika. Time for me, Dokiju, your legacy, your contribution, your efforts will not be in vain. Beta yonye be yigara, bang yeshu ebo de will monuar, be yigar susun kuwo, agan go mon. Shifts and sorts, must see din weir. Din you could see another go, you either will mon. Tradition so lake fakadam can so yish. I lad dango mon go and survey. With a random way, with a gabam way, I mean ye, as in Susan wo. As a new commitment, renewed commitment, is on ye so. The tear, send one was in a way low kuyawa yenje, was in a wallow team of me. Bury with them, or more believing in the vision. Bury the President General once order. O we mokusinari. I will sing up for I have sung from beef and sung to from beef and who lodging yansa in his humility. Our love, I want to consult it and answer more consult it. You say, well, Jimena from Bone. Young way you could juju. Very, may his soul rest in peace. And I wish to use this opportunity again to extend my condolences to the family, to Ya Unawone, and the closest family members, Yonye, he is not alone. No, the children and the family, you are not alone. We are all with you. Very, very present, very former.
Very thank for me, very for that, and for taking us right to that journey from the university. Allah do surely to the initiatives. I'm pointing out our preparing was unlocked from the agriculture initiative. After agriculture, Lawrence Asia. We may then do sports and then Neri. But the key thing, Reggie, why are we touching these initiatives? For Wiramo, maybe the big role that Mfoome played, and more time for me humility. The amount of dedication that I myself, I just did not understand where that time was coming from, because time for me care ran. He was wonder if it was also equally 24 hours for him. I'm young, baby, because most of these initiatives, these are not full-time work for everyone, but it has to be done at particular times when you have that free time to talk about it. So as the coordinator, and then of course working very close with Mfoome, there were many meetings that have to be scheduled, right? So late in the night, so after his daily task and then coming back in the evening, he will still create that time. We'll have meetings at 10 p.m. Town for me just mentioned the crisis period where meetings used to go at times till past midnight, but he will still have that energy, listening to everyone, taking in stock and being able to advise as well as help drive the points that were coming in. And then interestingly, since I'm also an early person, Town for me told me that if there is anything, if I'm already up, that he's always up by 5 in the morning, because that's when he does most of his work as well. I should be able to reach out to him. So I used to just wonder how much he was able to do all of that, and still be able to keep getting up early before his daily task. During the day, if there was something and I had to reach to him, it will not take long before I'll get either a reply or he will make a call. Either he's on the way, but he'll find the time to talk and maybe advise on how it should go, or share his thoughts as well. So very a giant, but very humble and very dedicated, and living a life that impacted almost everyone he met. So I'm sure that is what we, as we are thinking, we should also be taking along. How can we make that impact, right? I think that's one of the great lessons we should be taking along. How can we live that life that we are not just about ourselves, but impacting those around us, and not just those around us, Town for me took it to a greater level of impacting almost the entire country, Cameroon, because he's known everywhere through the humanitarian services that he created. So those are just some things that I wanted to highlight after listening to Town for me. And then as well, something we should not be forgetting, because there's still a long way to go. We should be keeping, as Town for me indicated, we should be keeping the family in our prayers. We know that Enoch, who is with us here next weekend, they will be having an event. So we should be praying for God to continue to give them the strength. A lot is going to be happening back home as well. So we should be praying for you. I'm praying for those close who especially are hit hard by this sudden going away, as well as for the siblings of Enoch as well, that are actually finding this difficult. So I think those are some of the things we should also remember as we move along. Very soon we'll be hearing from the chairs of the initiatives, and the key thing will be for them to give reflections, especially based on Mfoome's contribution and the energy he brought, and maybe also just talk about some of the great successes that we have had due to those initiatives and maybe a look ahead. So I'll just leave this here, and I think we may start with agriculture since without food we can live. So maybe I should start with the chairperson of agriculture, who is the current vice president of SHUMAS, Takafo Clement. Takafo, if you can hear me, over, please.
Very fair time for me. Very. Imma berin so we busun tanin jawa tanina biyoi iwa kumia a hero. Busun ken gaise wiri busun mam mo tab tani Emmanuel wo jinsak libi kan so ke tabin ki am ta fa tom ya beri wir mo un be wo kenyo kilo di jiken so law yo door. We decide for ye ki tuku for the tech service so that allow young nyoken so wa yuri a danir busun. Aberi President General una time for me via suin vinyu vevi ye everson. Min kuna beri sa da o time for me o Europe onso abati Europe. Aberi for time for me Stephen Ndzerem. Ayong ye jaun in nera mi live mef. A lea raji inyutata sa ye for vitavi. Everson lem legacy velia mo widom kuksi yong. Ayilo lewir okay, then hero are the more managing interpersonal relationship. No, I feel English when I'm so before. Like you was in Kerkid so deep. Adre or real was winning lamon. Like in Nervouson. And I say we say see Vivek in kilo una fonloni firi. Atamba only care a better story. But I very queen at the fobam. More yen win so okay the degree of impact or time for me lemon. Can say win in more office. Nyong kina si more than we are job than one. Di un juani kumu awun ta ayeji mai toma uni un toman so. Mbo oki uno mi un. Oki izare lam kusasi nyen unyenin na we ni more office am jere moki mbam kitab mo oki. Iwi una she payos. Maku matiabe uyong bay. It's a number one min kwa sungin be ungan sidem. Yam vi shavi ba. Oyong mo yeji un batia mo un yele ajim sa ye favina refia. Jiki yen unin wi yong moji unta creator famu ka yong na jike bam ke won. Ke bam ke won ke draji ke ya toma development chofala. Unta aji vilum ya fwan second seki. Wiki ya fwa gigita. Unta aji maya ka ya nyoge chwe. Mu yong in be ke jim ngan calculate jike bam ke won second seki una gigitan. Mku ya number jini nyena anso okidro Ale min jang Dr. Lamlen Jin so address ya we form an estimate min leji okay in the worst case scenario so there 100,000 for instance I look at Jin so there 100,000 odom ki jeson jamo 400,000 be ya we drum ki for an average of 100,000 1,000 I love in race 100 million was in ki ayev nyo so for labin more for statistics when it time for me urame Young age, ayo in race, even 5 million or 10 million for la for year, anything. Njirunji usai running so that really. Time for me outlining all the almost 10 years where we would present on soda. Time for me or jivir ki fake jiken soda. Ujivira mbamse. First and social. Umi young moyeji, she farin she could drink it off, unta ajim dina ki some. Njirji sa adrika wuji dra 2 million. Umi young yeji asa anto ovesun. Problem on so carry draji anto oyo kera fakia sa bituve sho. Benin lo kain ningen monto okilunbe. Aki sem bi for banki un lima guna bangvi. Banki lo taji un sa on a larger scale. What taji proof of concept faka yongi asaki yishi wanchi ki falia. nin lo lento ki lun ni yena wiki yo carry san wiki ye foine nkuisi yo order kirfo and so on and so forth. President also da tada mu yilimbera oni anin kuyi be yo san wiki to iwa nkuisi yini nyorin they often for find it remotely in ikintonin adrafi amin dun ton so min yeji aki bomani hol fala baranta ayo de via renti hol so hol de san dan for meaning ku guide amin yun anta wanto bonto ak ifa renti hol so una anta akoy ki fakia yusi dan for me young are yeji our layer for sustainability unin we launch in so first initiatives min kun jangmo dimo mo mumin be wuntra akere proof of concept in kibam kiwo malia yeji nyoke bi sum as a location so idrelia before un lake we na ji so depend there 95% on agriculture makul ya something year research young advice ya jasa yelia min lo research and serve depending 100% on agriculture 100% we allow young you survive be sum for la yoda min yi an analysis nin din uni yong yi mata awiri wayasho iberani wa wadwa fombi yi wad 2023 kinyukinin wi for arrosi buni Russia una Ukraine abu for wirakin statistics Ukraine the highest exporter of wheat kitu kensai una Russia vini arrosi sifa faki okun wifen benin do leini yena bacillus tata o one we kware sa one we so ausili misar ibiku min lord yongin so you bacillus nin for ngoi u for ngoi si faka yongin proof of concept and to forming king for me takwa zebulon lo kwa yongin yokwa ya dina shisha kin iwiri nin sawo lenin dulo tongi bacillus una wire kaudefi for ngoi for ngoi 147 kilograms. The President General Tadradamu, Sunina Village Development Association. And time for me to guide for BAM. I coordinate also first. I organize meetings and in sensitizing villages. Where Kuma village is 18, a pharmacy for 120, a coin weigh 147 kilograms in NY. Low calf, killing for 3,135 kilograms. Move carrying that proof of concept or time for me to receive young. What is the next year? Or then 2024, 2025. A time for me to show. I'll guide you. I'll done it. I'll guide you. When young in soji move carrying the proof of concept, ma ben tomble na yun goy. Itom afama shwanin. Wiri yenin aki succeed 2023, 2024. We tongi BFU. Tongi wiri ma forming kengben. Forming zebulon. Aburi ta awo dunni. Awa aburi sa wiri atren. Awa kan besnauni. Mbolo sungni we forming keng kimi amini ratar. Ni yong moje ma atakifu. Ntom sumban una 200,000. She re banafti word president no BFU. Uyonji una toma una $2,000. We remain tom atakifu Joe. She Tasin Louis and all of that. Doris Landra. We tom doesn't carry 1.9 million. Imindulo tong kaudefji afaki ve carry shifarinma. Ben tomver aunin fongoy. We in Fasi 500 and something. I do fear away wine go so far. Just
If that is
120.
no ask for the display for the
We wine go at 120 cha. What the second year I will need Tom Neverson. We in for 505. And in low young Kaude Kavden for Ngoy so far 1,000 kilograms. Besi wango is a shoy. Kiwa deny for 10 tons. That is 10,000 kilograms. Move president knockout defis na kidini. Aveni lay for social media boveni yen. Mufon so yun kinyuke shoy. Min tong song show. Din so waf kinyuke ki service kitraso. A vision when Mfoome Stephen Ndzerem. By estimates, if I can imagine Niki Yafen, Kidji, a pharmacy if 5,000. You were young boy, so fascinating. I'm sunging with Ben, and so really, cow deaf, what the technical partner war, we choosing the government to see, Bimbang we choose. Wooly the concept war nari. Faka yung saw the agricultural renaissance initiative. What time for me needs in Goira. Really the model version. It do show African Development Bank. It do show a Germancy. A willing at them. Where you money or you finance association directly. Only you form Bamenda through government and organized communities. Our could develop a new so that one moment. Tenari, one moment. Mr. Drillen Ben. Kifaka yonji wheat. Cameroon, African Development Bank, only layered concept, proof of concept on SHUMAS in for the past 2 years. I've seen you bove you government Tom Irat Jawa Wayang Goisi, our Toma are developing Goisi. I'm tired young so ye jad weird if seen mum about only yen kinyoke kumsum kivison. Our bandria wiri. Mfoome King, the chairman Budreya we the chairman of Peace and Reconciliation Initiative. Avsen ki wan vesen via matiniangar foki aleki nyoke sum. Wani dramam fefus beve kerangar. Cocoa fee ni una de 800 and 1,000 per kilogram. Cocoa si 4,000 and 5,000, 6,000 even in some areas per kilogram. Wani lo leji unlo ya kengara lo ate un. Uni igan funin foki fadre ki akin shwer. Umenengar mina leer nyoke ki yesu un ke vashi. A wito a young one. Sang Yevson limin. Una sunflower because it's okay the best climate in Cameroon. Cameroon, the African miniature, but then saw the Cameroon miniature. Wasn't any fucking looking limit so. So Malon so are the legacy wall of sun lem for or no time for me. Modun bessa. Even when you will sacrifice for service. The Jefferson sack for session. Young, it will drum Canada so. Before you came yeni. Nkunki sungni le president no cow def ke for you only we melan. Vena kiyeji alonso was uchenti overnight. African Development Bank do ni Kenya, do Ethiopia, pompi mbamfo. Hey, only the farm okay, the Georgia we yunan go see. Iwaya machina wa limin for la. The fact of loni, imam my sifa beri time for me, but TJ, Tatala your door. Limbenan soda, limbena initiatives, if some chenti wongoson. Berevs.
Ben Vey before and Berry again for Limier yeah Lydia Unaransi Akoi for ye as well as by your normal daily tasks because most Kuyongi working for so that working for any of these initiatives is definitely another extracurricular activities. Okay, look on just are very time consuming. So so more you limit so far and imagining from where we started and where we are and knowing how much for me saw the need in this. It's a very great way we have come. Akuderuji, person waku gara this legacy. Person kwa kumeji aderuji the Eldorado or what time for me lower young. That is the vision from so. But definitely agriculture, we have to feed ourselves. So with the proof of concept so far was attractive by organizations. Again, they need the full working with it. And it's a very great step in the journey of the initiatives. Shati and so office ambassadors, we are currently Kula Urifa only not long from now, but I could Urifa initiatives. So my team Pomo yena Shay Lawrence Kimom for joining, but connection Jibiri about for joining. So Loma Tiawa Yuri for phone call or leading one for so far we're leading the cultural renaissance initiative. Kansan Kiji culture like something unique. You can only have your own culture. There's not much your culture is your culture. So from Kong you Mama Tiawa we in young about the cultural renaissance initiative and especially for me role in that area. Perfect.
Yeah, ligan sin fa bere for me bati for linke mo for use and wa kume time for me SHUMAS. And I bear is a President General wasn't for the say at the modern vicinity. I only yeji it took an psychic about with a key most sensitive and soon you come for me out dune. For it didn't really yellow like took an siphon. Oh, I live a life for it's a more you can call virtually a kerafake a kume for. Because most sensitive that come for me, we even you meaning the more we come win for. I'm just soon as I should lambada una lamso. In 2014, when time for SHUMAS was coming to the United States, I have always talked to him with him over the media. We never met in person. So the person who was supposed to pick him from the airport did not have any time. Then the person called me and said, "Can I pick him from the airport?" I said, "Okay." Is it the same former SHUMAS that we know? I say yes. So that was my first time of coming to or seeing him in person. They wouldn't maintain it by airport by soon we had a for behavior convention. They won't we be they would throughout and for face like one a funbam. When do funbam and to fun in the bam and I only they would make cookie as soon as you vehicle and soda. When young about so that the more focus at the full but a vision for the yeji soda organization gain soda kiwada key to all over in all countries. So many contacting more when the president of Uganda for was on Shay Louis Tassin. But I only kusungnen bay, min lay ji asadaga and the boy ye won't a gang so adawa one, Kitabina. So the forming and cookie asungnen bay. And so very Kennedy so coach rebirth forum. When kumo menare yeji moon can lay ben. 4 years in so adawa care with Tavi can I care sir. Especially with the crisis we seen for la una the COVID we yen amoma yeji as I the William for bedroom outside Cameroon and no mumtoda. More you read the concept and for a kid difficult for understanding if I can young. And the can the cultural renaissance initiative ukumo young ye yasan bad the chair I am young when I am. Dim yamila for among the FAM be me bombo ya keragan mom 10. Away the first will be away kid very difficult for care. I can ye way more. Kick would just a difficult. May your my age counts I young ye jim sort of fucking area would number chickies a ye dwa. So I accepted and I say more joining for me. I learn a lot. And they only giving you began some a lot of the artists from so ulo kumofobam but only mean later more to my artists very sure who the artists been so very more I can carry a good stamina because of the help or very for now for bam I'm more very drive it for publicly for who didn't sacrifice more very but only see you and for faith. But one of the things what inform for me, especially in the issue of culture more with them because soon and say mobile in a towns on top. I remember then for me soon in Kishima can Tara Quebe and for me back to the Fen War, Bamenda for me back to war Europe former can defend, but President General, but last week meeting nearly like 2-3 hours can see more for you lay as a cadag and there why if for Europe for Fondopa. But can some more informed the yellow you show like you are fast another way. I even you jumbi be with the key, a key very okay, yeah, marty. And from the cultural aspect, be for making a limb. That's a very for renovation of Nton, so they will limb from behind the scene. For lay just around the boy in Ton, so why shouldn't Monsozana? And for making a limb when I would the cultural initiative for supporting our projects in Tosumosi. Yeah, and Tonka and talk loon and talk say very cool. Learn more bay. I could tom for bum. But I want to return more cousin realize it can't more joining so that we did allow I care a misconception about so that we did more allow for my I check them on so that organization come up to Ning and Ning so we shall allow yeah usually. But I bought a mockage and say from better formats during the think tank group, very low contributing for support some of the projects in show. And some more say low lay more social media, but here low in a with more sang when you more be come so that I check ye just a law sang bena. As a check age save him bamses a low for fair. And some more say look at from the before we your keen. And I can bong save you with the social media. We did care if you really visit mommy. As a key if I get more so that zone. Especially the aspect of the culture, we also get to learn very difficulties because since yet more social media trended, we love drum social media, tang we faben to other social media, we love drum tang kuma other social media, we love drum social media, but bun for other social media, we love drum social media, and some most key when you say sha tang una tam giri vashi into. I was more new way bay, but far mom yeji as a person gande boa preserve culture or so on. For me, ta yeji aqua mum. Yes, a gande bo culture on so wide in Mowoodsana. And sim matter to my sang boyfriend. So there when you're soon in guns most men day yeji agita for preserve culture when it came for America. So the former men go food and bay. I came for America. I had on the 4th of April for America. Yeah, mom yeji as a after no on the 4th of May. After I want for me for we knew we yin. I don't say you mask sooner knew for me yin, especially we over when soon nearly on daily basis. Lambo kijim say soon for fair do mayfair. You don't answer more say more lomba check yeji. Said more yin we knew for me yin more with a more say yin. Mlogansu Mosi a pilot study on the sons and daughters on so for who the best so person of the year satella overwhelmingly with the more taking part on that survey very young Adam for me. And the why for me the social media platform for me a big award for the man of the year. And that award was where covered by CRTV, a lot of media houses. Kimi yesa whenever bong mo ye yo yen mo on the informe da lan ke tabin ke sen wa kere sen mom da ga nyogen so wa yene av sen ku me wunlen ngwa yong yeji for wisdom we mom fa yi ke nyoke ada ki sen so ana nyom mo kem ye fon for me de ki de yeji alo yi ke nyoma la yo ayer for wo bitu ki bong we really why you can you as a group sa pa wa ta for ya you can you as an individual so that it really could you are the year yeah really why you are the year mo so yi sa fa ya fa kwa fight ya ke ya you are ma yi as an individual. So the one big lesson of your inform for me, the one big lesson I could balance I just why yeah for no for me will do ne titeka mo sen su ko me won gan selen mbali gansi na bere ofe informe bati when a president general woven fon killing gives and cool mere 1,000 we didn't land so banda nyo we service person you can do ya care we more or more for me ben bere wisdom faye
Very fair Fonkong, very fair another zero aloja fair winyo especially my young my son inform me every day level and my it's just quite interesting. A lot often I do to in my young informative about to the peace initiative. That's the peace and renaissance initiative. I'll add to that one after this. But I'm going to comment was een jongen van kon naar in was een allo java wa fair labi wo mai and mom ko yonge kilo ga ji tam for me sa lo ko yan se ben for fear so could the fact mo ko yong ne some kwa bere the family or found that opportunity o ko yan se ajero na san adin was na ye and the other most captivating thing just she or why you can yo ekwaji akefo yi young alo and so do for me was and do for me wirajam. So we really have to strive to understand the importance of an umbrella organization because akongaja ajaka alo lay other communities they have succeeded because they have organizations that have been standing for years hand from generation to generation because at the end of the day more but what stays are those organizations we leave behind for others to take over. So Sankefo realized the importance of coming under an umbrella that we can build that can be strong, and then ensuring that it's working for us and it will be able to work for those coming after. So one point on college was on could reflect a kumi ya do I shows abam. Imama teleni Mfoome takwa okun wilen like kinyoke kuma the Renaissance and Peace Initiative, especially on a contribution on Mfoome fund in that direction. Okay, over time for me, really.
Yeah, very time for me.
Oh, sorry. Mpa ajo.
Yeah, very time for me. Bara abin na loy mo amin license for ati amin asuni na dudu na kwati ya ke wafa kuta alike linkin for kun bere widem be asuni from beach for more especially VP ta Yun Clement was in your kin we are more where you na your kiji the tower yilim bango ye calculator figures asa wire asan kukema bera woni jasa ligan fo wabo yibi nyobina kumbe sa talom fon kong wo kunsunen kun kume nyomowi e mo sevem klaisin ne laisin alo ya for tribute time for me la yo key for ke mysi so mkula the very brief time for me bati laisin nyomoki efsen kuir wayima so that one was ne wilo kuyawa yen the Peace Renaissance Initiative, we, in the context where things were so bad, and it happened, and I want to say it very clearly, that so it became the epicenter. And I use the word epicenter, I use earthquake, Koimosin, Koi, Myanmar, when I lay epicenters at Arafia. I'm using this analogy for certain key Kenyomoke. Bimo will more lake Kenyomoke Koi, Ramo, Sayikalan so you adra, Nkambe, young energy lafa, Sayikalan so you adra. The Rangwa equity Koya on Yasahikabo, equity epicenter wadra, defend Layo Adrefena. Myong Bene wisdom and Kiji, in every conflict there's an epicenter. Unfortunately, so order an epicenter of the conflict. And so, Ranseve Yongjima take care over the leadership of this peace initiative. More on time for me, I'm very reluctant. One, my job, your premature Mawada involved in such a very controversial thing, working. Came with permission from the authorities. Number two, analyzing energy border, the peace, every other thing you can do when you are remotely, because there's no peace that can place a button here, except for conflict. For a conflict, you can place a button to destroy, but for peace, you cannot place a button to do it. It reverses. I'm Lomligan Ferguson, this their concept. However, I will coordinate and see what we can do. Expectations are very high. Objective is to check our peace back home. Ensure that school resumption will do. Stop here one side. Why is every sitting there when I fuck them? I was a Peter. Every sitting there, our multi. So our expectations were very, very high. The first analysis presentation of Foreign as the chair of this committee, Moyonje, we need to pipe down our expectations. I know the development on year for $1,000 we on yim kutuna port boreholes akwayatan for peace. Atamamos a year amos a kera reverse. Alo fact them could be bang. So the peace also that determined by the outcome of the conflict generally. We are more you responsible on kiwa kitena on kijiva on jivsin. We love jango yon even yele. Kini amoji vera wiri drug committee. Alo ma kun be kuna draje va darafe. I would them the win so. I would them the stakeholder. So I'm fucking for we how challenging it was even right from the beginning. But I'm very with if and in it. I'm cook alum young a year with and bomb young men berumo. Time for me the only person who young year. Let's pipe down. Let's focus on the people on the ground. Let's put a little that we can do. Briefly, we will understand it more very well. There must be an enabling environment even for that peace to happen. And the peace, more the whole struggle everywhere, see, county on so. Ola you are once I saw it will stop war and so then the struggle has ended. You from inside us. So we cannot stop it. But with the expectation that the Yawa we low work young compare. So we were doing peace looking more at wishful. So kin force and kiji peace with them ta. But peace will be gotten gradually. So what were the achievements? We worked very closely with so many stakeholders. We put a lot of ideas. We made a proposal for funding and sent out SHUMAS, Mfoome SHUMAS, even took some elements. He said, I know what we're going to do. We moved all around. But there was also a lot of sabotage to an extent where so many things that we discussed at the peace in the Renaissance, sometimes we had to reverse it. At one point, we said, let's suspend and go and work in a very remote way. We are more where you swing allow you killing and undo it for reasons I've already told you. We engaged with the boys, and we did. We went far, even risked so many things. Sometimes one group will accept, another group will refuse. So the Peace Renaissance would one of the initiatives it comes with investments. It comes with a lot of compromises. It comes with initiative and the political will. And that political will cannot be decided only in so. And we saw what happened. We initiated many moves, including the one point where when the reconciliation, we said, we must do something. We cannot just give up. I try a tanto when I remember seeing the entire initiatives when you reganted toy for win all those what happened. Around now we may yawn the I'm going yell, I'm going to call we reconciliation. I'm going to them. Because we never agreed. There were two forces dragging, pulling all sides. Anza and engines and engines and engine. Coveramo, amo defend. Alboro mayon ye will. We are more defend for yonji. Only anybody to fine. Because we made a very tough initiative to convince some of these leaders at our just say and in yonji vessel liane say fine. Yaone. Wonderful. We had sleepless nights. With a mensoro. Ajang we more la we okondo songnen with a menale. And that is how. That is the dilemma. Minaji, Mumo Silim Lim Nam Lim Lom Bore, Mosile, I gave with a mumbo and relay to come. Ki do me for a reporter more we himself do me system. We hear that you are involved in this thing. Who gave you the permission to do that? Have you resigned? Is there not a correct behavior? So I'm faking for some kiji, it is difficult. We never gave up. We went off from online and went now in the background and started doing many things in the background. And that is how we had proceeded with this process. Young high expectations. The peace in so is linked to the crisis in Cameroon. And the crisis in Cameroon, the strategy, in other countries allow you, no, we cannot negotiate with this, we cannot. But in the background, there is negotiation. In Cameroon, there's nothing happening. Since they did the national dialogue, it ended. I was very clear very recently when I was asked to put it, one meeting has never ended any peace anywhere in the world. Liberia peace process had 13 peace agreements. 13, go and read. Sierra Leone had more than 10. Cote d'Ivoire had more than almost, whether it was 11. From Makosi 1 to Ghana 2, Ghana 3, Pretoria 1 and 2, Togo to Eastern Cameroon, okay, only one. So we have not been we have not been serious in bringing peace in Cameroon. And every peace is negotiated. Nobody dictates peace because nobody has the monopoly of violence. And the monopoly of violence means 7 people can put a country down for years. So many young gens, so let's say, give up. Education. Now, education. Okay, worry. I'm supporting that area. I'm going to support like the president or agriculture nari watom kiloke of a we all banding together. With the message of peace for entity. Way forward. This low key and behind the scene processes should continue. The reality has done. Everybody has seen that peace cannot be wished. That peace cannot be gotten in the view. Peace at my own terms, it cannot. Nobody can win in every conflict. Everybody loses. Lamentation will not resolve the problem. And we are very good at lamentation and blame game. That one cannot be. Let us set realistic objectives, step by step and step by step. Number 3, peace cannot be done by just talking. It requires investments. In all these things, no dime came from anywhere. We supported and sponsored every move. I mean every move that we did in the peace initiative. And that was everything. Number 3, Cameroon, the message we could send to the authorities, whether Cameroonian authorities or whether it's the boys or whether it's any groups, is that peace is always a compromise. You cannot have it all on your own terms. And I have said before, no wishful thinking. Lastly, before the crisis started in our analysis, there were already fundamental divisions, divisive issues that were amplified and aggravated the divide. We cannot, Monsola Manganyate Jankwango, I mean, I came on live with them, Bawa Congo. So anything that we are shielding and all those things, we have to look at it holistically. And I'm very one time for me, be more loyal, key on your juju. On your lodge way. I'm young, you send Lara for lemon. Tomawo. Just a question was we can do many things online, but the peace have to be, whether it's the committees and what, it must be people on the ground. We are yonji, ko tafe, say wrong fe, why we I fe, waf, you with Tima Fed only as a yelia or when yele vague. Peace initiative is Jarafele. Peace must be grounded on the ground. Peace must be in the hands of the major stakeholders. Peace must be accepted. And I'm truly, DG, there was already a group made of religious leaders, Atangiri Unatangmoronge, all the major people. Let us go back again and reflect and go calmly, but silently. Not the peace. There's some things that people go and say in the air before you sit down. When you say things, everybody goes defensive. Peace is one of the things that we must do it silently, but effectively and committedly, where everybody, engaging into it. When you go in we mail and then many other people. And so we're soon from outside with more young. Dismissing, I will call you another. You will only what do for me. I do me more events and I will come here to you more young coming you get after Moki. I didn't know how deep it is. But there's no problem that can be without any solution. Listen, team Tower Sandbab, Tower Fonso, team Afone, Emo Adrenaline. Tati a fon verse never soon shumon. And to oversummed around half soon shumon, must do label. I lost soon as an alay, the cup is half full, not half empty. We are more lamin dismissing and you're dismissing. And I allow a baban, moving so imanga and yangatane badvery. You all bagashi mon, a ba, a lem, versus for us lem, a ba do. Listen, Tati, listen, we are elite. From other area. The oneness will come out, the one voice. There are differences. There's diversity everywhere, my young. But diversity, you can look at dividers and look at 30 and 30. So you see all the avenues. Kindram Fu, Kindram Wa, Kindram Love Nyoveki, Kindram Cook, and all our groups development for 30. Translated the message of peace from just me talking into action. Very, very well done.
No, very fair for me, very for that on peace. It's not been easy, but once again, very was for all those efforts and the entire peace and reconciliation team for everything that they did, they have put on so far. And more time for me, law young bonkilo bongawa the low hanging fruits, education, agriculture, marvels and courses. Unfortunately, chair education was able for joining because we case another important meeting. And then she Lawrence, more when you have internet, we are who jam malenji, who manage your didn't more law joining community. But from the sports area, there's a lot that has happened in that area. Again, thanks to the vision or Shea Lawrence, we insure in the need for oneness. Our different is young much around that area. Personally, do very soon to reflections from surface ambassadors, and I could book yes, some more Chile, Sisafen, as well as Ayenkia, Vasanda, you refer especially the impact of for me in regards to the musical aspect for me general almost in every area. But just before I'm just sure I was saying then sort of education renaissance initiative for almost how many years then and say we can ENG asala yelia I mean decided I think Java exercise book one the work here more on our brand is sanctioning SHUMAS one when we quit really only wa also in law na sanctioning SHUMAS or kumiji and senge see what organization more we are young in SHUMAS we tomauni. So most of those books have been shared for a long time. Another area, so which under this, just at more so the initial plan is to year 4 year tour during the conventions. So COVID been we. So the COVID-19 task force will form. And really cool there were masks that were distributed. Young in terms of monetary value was going almost to 10 million because Europe is Tom, BFU Tom, i.e. a lot of mass production job into every villages in so. And how were the key thing, how was that even possible? It's again thanks to for me because the network was carrying SHUMAS a network of using more SHUMAS is in everything. So I mean, for that network to Neri, and it was very easy. It was just so amazing because young the network of people that I came to know during that time. So just to coordinate them to go to Tatum. I'm not here with Aduli. So it was very possible to coordinate people using the network of phone and numbers are like young. So he placed his network without that network because more of a you are president general so that young it's still a long time, but we were understanding SODA. So there was no network work using like on that SODA. So his network will play from the humanitarian side, played a very big role in sharing the mask and as well as sharing the exercise books. So that is one greatest area while of San Yongji where we're carrying. And most of these people very allow our Yongji voluntarily because more region under SHUMAS, it was then like under his own additional contribution. So after with the Education Renaissance Initiative, or the thing, but a forum, most of these other sports, a lot is going on. But the key thing Mark was saying was so many, most of the things was never to go out there and be showing off is a really lawyer that can we win. And it succeeded. Every winning team always have supporters, and they will come around. So after that, but do I know we have taken a lot of time? It will be for opportunity. We were soon, but now from and so first ambassadors. Let them maybe first of all just talk briefly about the role they have played so far, the impact on Mfoome, and then from there on, we'll then talk about, they'll talk about the tribute song that they have been able to put into play, put it together so that we can continue to remember. I'm Atomina Yuri for Yesum or Chili Wawaye, then after that, a Yankia, then you have Loram and Maisi. So Yesuma Yubo, the Yuri for Bere. Assuming yes,
Hello.
Bobero, you okay?
Hello, Benjumwa.
Okay. Are you all in the jump there? Hello.
Mashatia Fulham, Jemisim, Ashatia Bave, Mashati Readem. Ayong GM Dalan Kijumbet. Time for me, Drawid, I'm Drafa Kim Zanalan. Would the beat time for me. So you could mark Ben La Kuma she of Ingai Finland. Mshati Readem, Shatia, ambassadors Verdun, then Shati with him being so. Shati Berry, time for me for initiative or batting really. Kun bati very 13 yove lung for them for tabasan wooden. Time for me. Me okay, you sako you more.
Are you over young for you?
Where you okay, John?
Okay, so year 2014. I'm the University of Yaoundé one I'm cooking of Ken. So lom learning Lucia TV learning miti really learning mom jiwiri wa yo ayo be sanwe silai. So min dukushi moki isia TV radio luncheon date. So abe ya organize Gonso festival. After time for me UNGM. Mo UNGM min kwa titi wiri chisade la wonki yun for luncheon data. So amin kamin kulinki time for me be ubinsi limye mo limfei. Ishe erimo. Nke shefa yonji time for me the wira wu. Avec yen ran ya yoba melan ma yoben. Ikera moi Cameroon for me it's very complicated for we yobi. For we there be mina for more baby there talents. So ma unji time for me dra one of video another foreign. I'm dra one of those we very benefiting for we jumbe time for me ye for waiting. That for me umina say show ya more organizing my first release so iya unde. Time for me to for present on a delegation on soda. Aki Olomaya for time for me one of my first album, my CDs. Oh, then CD was shown. Ili show tumbe sangboy. Mko amina the 4 kinyoki them ki turning around for me. I invite him to US. Mo then CD was show you show I invite him 2016. So I remain so indebted to that for me. That for me for more lights for a whole lot of soul artists light. You other more be the willing the jayo dafen lana the back buyayo. So Makeshi for Yongji doesn't care a fertile spot in our activities when so other our culture. At time for me low this statement. Culture over our comparative advantage. The fake doesn't carry really okay. Ulo wana riji ira from bia sunela alim sumse alim kuna limbang akira amambe sunere lim bifa vive or lim beta favi show vira a Chinese sisi mass produce it. You see attractors alim bifa show everywhere all over in Africa even in Europe alim. So agriculture rake pake usuna zam sanction move resi zafombi. So wana rimoji fake arosuna zam sanction ke wira suni yo ke the Li Wong Wilson. The Wilson. Our culture was not that traditional person. Our long service. So low encouraging my yonji. Bifake ve yi mo vera ferve mi ve ayobi. Drafake ki first so. I'm Keshifa yonji. The cultural sector draw one of great aspects we the center ignore, especially in Cameroon and Bilibiji. Alo kiki tum. Alo le mo Congo. Alo le mo Cote d'Ivoire. Alo le Nigeria. Nigeria came new with the unbounded gifted show. But if I can look at pulling attention, well, really worldwide, where to discover Nigeria, the culture, the arts. So I'm believing that part of us, to be within so cultural part of us. Oh, person yes, some really Marcus discover line. I will get to local for instance, in we get to local or we care more longer than we so what we will say I we young longer so I'm believing Sandra will have Sandra very special. At time for me low reiterate on that aspect you send care fake really you carry. So ma onji more time for me more low do unbati very yobi very really low other one thing with other one beef kaya tool for one beef. You only time for me low do unbati Mo be do ni studio do your lungwa your infant. Men go ke ama kin fair keji. Are we together? Are we nilwad? Are we able for you see this cultural aspect of the music for pulling a lot of attention to the greatness of we so carry, to the power and the strength, to the integrity of we so carry. So I very cool see ma innovation ki kang leng ma we together. And together it continue this movement. It legit time for me time for me ki ara a revolution. Time for me ki ara a sense of awakening, a sense of self deliberation where we did it took a kiji. Time for me, Luben. We don't fair come time for me. A lot of university do our fair ka. My NG. Lavison you ayo ngaji time for me doing ben ki Miami. We kundra wa another. The same kuliaji mo do na ben. The same kulot to tea of Sunday to G. Mosa dun kisa maini bena. The sun lord zansi. Aku yan aran yesho nila raji. Alia kileke time for me ken. Itu asho for me. Lungi zo vera ferve mi yin. I time for me o for me back to you bul o coordinate fe jam ke the mo sangme. O zotine asidule kisi ko ole kisi wable. Loro ke o jang individually. Ma unji bere un fe yonji ku continue the spirituation to carry. She for aran she pula a dinaran ibinyo nyobiwa doa from bikichu. A very sad artist, very fun, very within a very really 6. Very come really JJJ, but a ma very really 6, very dealing. Present, din she show in the occasion for personal mounji. Very reason. Very have some reasons and nothing lang. You like say young, in before. For a most easy for the fan of black case at New very.
Bear for yes, so bear for and bear for Mark Win, you couldn't come along. Akulo Yuri Shisha. So our Yuri for skizzy, then Ulo might say, I'm in Yuri, Pawim Yenin, I'm in Yuri for your Laura Mike Audron was no close more, yeah. But the boss skizzy while we we can narrate Jaro Naro down for me. All along, you drive very transformational leader and Wally Nelson transforming in every different aspects. Morrison goes, you are away from different angles. So Skizzy, go ahead. How are you for? Yeah. Okay.
Nshati ven wiradun abave me una fove me. Yiri doji skis ya yen kia. So I won't actually say much because I believe Chile just practically said everything. The truth is, someone like me, I never had the opportunity to meet him, but I heard a lot about him. I even had to meet him, and I had to keep postponing it for several reasons. But what I heard from my brothers about him, those that are closer to me, who are also artists, the support that he used to give to them and to everybody, I think that artists, most especially, they've lost someone very important. The community has lost someone very important. Reason why, when you listen to the song, I begin my verse by saying, "Nso olaine wiro tavin." Yes, because from everything I've heard and witnessed about him, this is a great man. This is somebody who always thought about the community and the society and bringing people together. And he always made sure that he supports every initiative that had to do with the community.
and always came out for them. So that's just how brief what I have to say about him is going to be, because I believe Yesum already said almost everything about him. Thank you.
Okay. No, very I am here.
Vero.
Yes, very thanks for that. Mo Kiji, yeah, you have Laura Sadram connection, Chivina Sawun. Yeah, Adra indicate your unfortunately. But yeah, ala phobia ulo wiu kufo, but I'm quota yomji in that same song when lo Yuria wa yen DJ Packager, Joshua then Witty Mainstream, and then Ricky Limu as well as yeah, you have Laura Micah Marcus Young. But in the that was the individual reflections, Yaki Yuri. But I'm more Kiyoji, Ayenkia, do you want to say something briefly about the tribute song? At least I think it's already been out. Maybe you want to say something about it, right? Then about the producing it and yeah.
Okay, thank you guys once more. I just want to say the tribute song is our own way, our own way of celebrating and commemorating this man, this great man. It's our own way of immortalizing his legacy and keeping his name, so that the next generation will always remember that we had a father like that, somebody who was there for the community, somebody who was always there for the needy, somebody who always makes sure that everyone was okay. And I want to thank you too, Mfoome, for your dedication and how committed you were coordinating this project, running it with us, and bringing both artists together. And like my sister Chile Wawaye said, this project is still for me making sure that we artists also come together and work together, because this is actually the first time that this is happening, that we come together under one canopy, we speak the same language, we commune and we commemorate together, and then we even had some peace talk among ourselves and the way forward. So even him not being there, he still made sure that this could happen. So we can actually see how mighty he was, how great a person we've lost. But even though he's gone, he still makes sure that everything is going on well. So this song is just our way of appreciating and celebrating him.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Ayenke, and thanks again to everyone who participated. I know due to time, and since we don't want to lose, I know tomorrow is a working day and some people may want to leave, but I'm sure they also want to give some tribute. If you also have things you want to say, you can leave them also on the chat. There's also a form on the website. I hope everyone is aware of the website. If not, I think it's here. I'll put this on chat. You can also leave.
For the kick of sick and so what I'm going to
Very chilly. Very again for that chorus. But Mfoome, definitely we were supposed to play that song.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Very. Let me please just be patient. Let me bring it on. Lonia Afanji, I hope I was just getting worried with time, but we deserve to play that. So let me just play the song briefly for us, and then we'll continue. Just a moment. That was the major point here, presentation of the song, and I may need to share, to stop and share again, so just be patient. I'll have that soon. Okay. So okay. All right, so let me play for us. I'm sure you hear that come up soon. Let me activate the audio. It's been a great it's taking some time to load. Okay, here we go. When it comes, please just let me know once you can hear, right? Can you hear?
Ndzerem Stephen Ndzerem, changes is so silly. Terror, Jana Kijungi, Ana Kijungi, terror, Siren to do, Ana Kijungi, terror.
Verkija driven you, sweetie tata for vita vivera di puran show. Adotara wiri ga you matonge. Young yam yen wiri ati betonge. Bena kong lindo oh yeah. Now we ban for oh yeah. Jim jango jang tengo bayo gai kumpa kwa kumdengo bayo benzi asidi ya repuo inside the ruto kiyoki azelano vasan gara meniva.
Mfoome SHUMAS Jana Kijungi, changes is so silly. Terror, Mfoome Stephen Jana Kijungi, changes is so silly. Terror, Jana Kijungi, Ana Kijungi, terror, Siren to do, Ana Kijungi, terror. We want we oh, we want we oh, yeah, we want we oh. Aita kusimpo, boveri for we. What a kick for sick and so what a that to me yeah. Fire till one, one push a fight. Kufu vitavia unawani, kufu
So like the we having time for me, puye pay me. We can't believe that you're gone. I'm out you want it when I don't see a father with a big heart. You always answer us when we call. We don't even know where to start. But we pray the Lord let my walk you through.
Daddy Berry walk for him, yeah, me. You have done so much to save community. So we do honor you for him, yeah, me. I got that kijungo, we are kumiwo. In a time when who was cares that he Stephen stood for all. Mango mimi limia limino. You gave the chance to those who were illiterate and now they read and write. Samba will be me limia limino. You brought us water pure and clean and safe communities. We're on mimi limia limino. Mfoome SHUMAS Jana Kijungi, changes is so silly. Terror,
mola baby daddy oh baby daddy oh gan ke junga shot ya favorite for bed shushe luom donta o tarore ba cardinal to me o tatu lukong Joshua fai o dogo yaro a fervere be akugirne shurore I want you must say oh yeah vere yo que so betira for me no offense baby wo tata tata who the bones so we don't touch and bomb me gun tesiganni oh atonya bomilana kipushia we atomato yeah cooking inside and tata san we shashi wa we ratum gantem for me siganni oh gantem for me siganni oh inform me yeah agana kitunga inform me yo agana kitunga inform me yeah agana kitunga inform me yo agana kitunga tata oh tata
Yeah, some good book to work for Berry and so first ambassadors in the name of Yesom Chile. Alo we go soon in a we tough soon in Berry Martin or didn't get a sign. Much better no John for Seaboard as you more a part of the war Mojica. Okay. Very good. Yes, we are really part of and I'm on dinner symbols where are the only way was an interaction virtual. And again, thanks more when coming Jima could play along. So who was under Kume having Santa Uriam young Jim Mongamin Yard was some quite Uri till the 12th. A Kumi Mura soon in Landwiga and Kumi Limio limit, not only in so, but the whole of Cameroon. So look, I do YouTube, I do in all music platforms alliance. So I could really wire that. So at least I'm making sure I will allow bo. So the gifted, the talent of some carry or more yes some corner comparative advantage or I'm part of the you could jump. I just sum boil or anyway sum better lean so lee wong who belong to so kejele na kejele ke ma na for sinji I love since a yearly sure not just for ourselves but for generations to come as well. So a very big question wo sendo los often akwa kumi. For my son in I really seen is to take lele ya yuri for we are more we ya case a she for contributing gansel on the church here but yena she Pascal okisi sang with her from B mpa she Pascal alon mati awi isun in the name na yuri for guy we wajen among us by Emmanuel Tanin Miensa or Sansa. So she Pascal, you more matter we in for contribution now.
No, very for me, shut away. She can get on Sasa like Assassi. Our bearing a sweet well. With the most important things, all the presentations were very educative, reflective of William Mfoome, and I think Moyupu are extremely shocked because it would have been one of the last things to expect. But as they say, God gives and God takes. So I could remember Bundi, Nera Fopfo, Nawoni, Jakwa, Alimado Mfoome Motarovi ke enani. Aswimo wetu kisiyo mjawa toma draye Mfoome ke enati. Because as you already said, the community project and vision. So everybody identifies with it. We can only pray that Mfoome is in a good place, which he deserves, by his solid contributions, not only to SOC, but to humanity. And we pray for the repose of his soul and pray for inspiration to walk a mile in his shoes. I think that's all I can say for me. So you can get like a but very fair.
Very fair. Very for that. I ring more yisum kuziyo ya idruji akalawa chin kufsin but more jungra kesan. Wasan kukefa bi mi jali mnyoy. Minali jalo since a year. Our bill for that in my Yuriso Vasanzalen the point of tribute and testimonies from attendees. So la ala Yuri for Yen Mongai wir pa Emmanuel Tani Kisangsa forum in Mato Jalos Ausalo Wisa maybe Kuyong Kinyoke Kike she for Kuyong Jalos and Lia Dusashwa. Very. All right, Pao sang be then. Womadre yen on forum Pao sang be and six in my phone, so do I you movie. But sang yeah, I appreciate this outing by NSODA in honor of our fallen hero. Mfoome Stephen was a man of the people beyond, so ripped down for me and forever. NSODA. So Sandra open for Uria wiki Kirkinyoke young young, at least as a tribute and as a testimony, we briefly. And in Paku, Mr. Willie Arcade Tributes page on the website. So are we on the website? There's an opportunity to leave a tribute that will be collected after. Since more for a long time. So we could eliminate tributes, but more something the same. Fena we case and young. The floor is really open.
Hello, time for me.
Yes, so yeah.
Okay. Very Whitram. Ramashita Dadamu, as in general. Soon learn more from a tribute point of view. Before we are more drive destiny when only la crossing like okay. Why until answer we share your pedra okay time for me. Okay, time for me. Other than say surprisingly, and say okay, voting more as a secretary or Bongnafti Dwala. We as president sort that for we install it there. And beyond that, Nku Kiwunji Yena mo president sort that win. But me discover je will try fast some more we show one slowly. Some more no show in your events so that slowly. Once in a while we could move one fake. Once a modern very active as secretary general one sort that I mean we're Bongnafti. When you move teaching or later and pushes so you know discover jang mod TV and we kept on. But still mbo okiwun mokeda weakness imbo loma konfololo tungfo kiwirin koko mpati je Wilmo was serve for me bati. Even when I took over as president knowing one order mbo okiyadara Europe more attribute was US that aside. But then same for me now we too close. Once we make a circle 2017. men try focus squeeze Mojimnake sir as Assistant Secretary General. Actually, the late Secretary General, Dr. Let me sketch my mind, sorry for that. Model assistant, but very quiet. But I'm not surprised and say, time for me, we need Dwala, we are presenting Mojika Bena, when Sianaji take care over as president of SHUMAS. I didn't see that working. And I'm Shani. Ukin you do the way. Do the discussive yalam jibet. Why is this man so stubborn? I shan't know without do the way. I enjiki mayani ukin you wiki shimo others on a Sunday. Out the Royal Palace Hotel. Insisting for church we met you. You know, that relationship, half of your own care, another too close. Adam Yonji practically, and some more taking over, when for me discussing every morning. Moyonji Wunji Lo at 5 o'clock, reflecting on things about SHUMAS. Inducing one more to that behavior. What Lo do for him, making sure what the 6 o'clock I'm done my office. Before me, limit 8 o'clock. I'm doing the new party about SHUMAS. So I can attest, Dan for me a very good mentor who carry a subtle way of inducing you to work. I will low work low we show layo aki yiki ben na ukura wa ben vayali malim kiju. A challenge is larger between and we're taking over. But later on, we could sort out those challenges. And I also sort out, I could discover the vision and his manner of doing things you're changing. And part that's a motivating factor. But despite upon them or tabling Winjim other president because of it, his other attributes motivate him a lot. A duty for you before at some point more conscious of the fact that this saying that you succeed when your successor has succeeded. So I'm very, very conscious I'm like something for making sure take care so that to another level. Bombo happy legacy time for me. So as I have a lawyer, I'm low assassinate. You know more pushing, no more. I take action more, but of course sometimes we lower the conscious of innovation. But at my last encounter with time for me, Bamenda was so memorable. It's difficult for the man license because the first time I'm doing la pass the night. If we won't carry very lengthy discussions. We knew we were only planning a fight the wooden suppose for form. We knew we were only discussing very in-depth from security to agriculture to the holistic picture when you welcome so. I mean, they won't travel from Bamenda to Mfoome to the one event together, and all along, the discussion is about what next we are going to do, what next we are to do. I took notes. I've a dream to. So I lay with more shebe, lay attribute where we in. You move read for our testimonies, but why even you am yonji with some chemo in layer the real honor of a center for one Saraka. So time for me a mentor. At the time for me to know lim is in a very quiet way boy or driver bunny. But I'll so fever arm and limb, so fever arm and limb at a training process. And I would be conscious of it during the training process. So at the Malonji was saying, Lee wasn't from that angle. That no only yes of a son. Minkina Bundiji, you was a sound, let me like a junkie. If one young won't for young one, I'd run one kitchen.
very, very foresee from your angle as your own tributes and testimonies. Aku yuri ji at least aku for link could open a week testimony or kikeshi we show back la yuri. At least more some queen, thousand okay, she's a 5-year program, but Nico Adjico soon in our more. Miana presi Jude Kirko you Jude or yin trade fair con go in your way so all games. Are we on swinging Jude presi? Are we on? Are you for? I need for unmute yourself. Quite a line jewelry, but line jewelry, but more jewelry. I'm at him yananga with bows and some member sign. Staff Tani, very for that update. In Marty, how are we on a soning fair?
Very so for you. Raka we are organizing Kinyokin, Ikum, Mfoome and Frozen War Martin Wilson. Very NSODA. From Kinke Lim Yeji, without Yaji Limbi so you're the power with them lower Komali. At the end, we more time for me, Ben, we're weary. Beyond the sub community, from whom you more your window laughing. And therefore, bombed a laboratory block for Kushimoshin the government school. Supply with equipment, laboratory equipment, I mean, you boy, you limit down only for so. We limit for with them. And our limb for we tumbe we limb for win so le very even for when kumen win because I will dream when a boy you can not I okay o ibon way masu yeji kina president order okay for my mo we do Sebastian con youth for we will know SHUMAS Adelenji Tadra me na willing for J for fun so for killing a kid and show in the modern way. And at the Cuban guitar, the limb then. Masuji, we when I'm at Yadwa, I'm a was Daji, Newagarash live for the out your tonga. Time for me, I will never win a chunk and so them were tonga when I tumbi. Very fair. It was some cool leaking yoke with Martin, the field from being Marco with Funen Bay. If I load Martin, you are go, I was in your so when the limit will limit. The map, I would have been bouquet you can carry affair again.
Very fair, very fair for that. Very. Kian procedure more kioji asala you more soon in the Ajamina we in. Judo in the first sort of trade fair yesterday, and then our planning the Jones ahead of the offensive all games. Yeah, but I'm now more than ever before we on. Yana California. For Carlos, the work with you we on.
Okay, very well for me. Shut with them, very with them for Shikalanki. Or some batin benjo sangu for Buria Kuni for you be for your east anyway. More clean for me, I'm just 35 until you're just university. Sin mo babads and above Shavella, consider them bad to show with Mamma. But you can load down Yaki when you're professionally. Mo was SHUMAS is a function of Yavia. and say okay now nyoke climate change wasi we anyo wasi chenti kid je Cameroon ki so sia wira mo ya kida ya training e training a wira da wali ma nyoke kum sum kijum sum wa dra awo that affected by these changes. So very on the international analog forestry network. As I learned time for me so sinver was so very bamzing. He wouldn't send out on bamzing. We're only lim for 2 weeks. It testify from the scientific point of view. Testy biogas, testy solar panels, testifa, ransum si tarwigin. Although Matifak them cook ye town, as most we join everyone and ransum sin ben you with them when I turn away zani. Ibo ve wonkun gana da jive wonkun tanin liman you ve kum mindrav. Jimo mo ye na kunyo ke kum mindrav ve won liman.
Respect one. Okay.
So, continue. Sorry. Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. So mum kiyonge, we wonkun antanenji, we wonkun tanara kunyo ke kum mindrav, akunyo ke dam kuburi community development. Amoiza ma wanda yake ben wiro saran motivated nyowe bigaga an bena sai motivated kay wona o sai lo limale le badi wi lim se NGO ko jum lim se community ko jum lim se rabi nin ben bodo yusa kere ka shi ki sada 48 asa kem kida 28 as 24 as awon jinno mjenaji alwir mu on wo kera vision una shi fo wiri ado chente nyoga an awon ja nyoy limon ko ke jungi iyaji vasan ku gara vision o shoy wa ga bumbi mo bi sem su na ngai se wi sem sikisi sungen bombi jama ki amo ve iya jama iyaji ve jumlo bambe ku yiga ti zare be gati show awa du fombi bere vasan
Very very for that testimony and tribute. Akula yuru for wiri but impa yongji mosanko so young wasanko akumeji akwa akume a family ebunre akume maybe alajiji Henok Buri Tamakita Kuyong something about program organized on the feet in Maryland at sisters then maybe Ala Akita Kuyong something about that I could appreciate it if yeah. So but if not, could you just information on could indicate for Wiriata programmers on the website or something. So within this time period, Akiji Wiri Janin we bought our address any of these locations. I this online, at least opportunity to address and course soon at least can call me then sort of first conference call or most of the time we are present are helping in most of these initiatives and visions so wasankwa kumi wijum voyage for battery until anil to rest longe yeah nyekufwa wijum bitavi. So Mkula Yurumo Kiyo you will on the tribute and then maybe I will ask in a case of proposals. So you have proposals and in on how to take this legacy ahead. We are more to do because I don't lay more for me Takwa the right is Zimbabwe as already past midnight for one. So okay for I do Kukiji Mokufashiki since I lim Tambura more I do. But the opportunity to Akil and so first rebate for more equal and time for me or most of these initiatives and were discussed before specific forums region. So the floor could open a week young we on around the Bamshisha. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Victorine Pongla.
Okay.
So I'm the one of the IDP. So SHUMAS is touching life on seriously. Late she wa confirming Lungos whatsoever you do to the list of my brothers, you did it to me. alungo sho you mufi Ndzerem ba ambunde kemareji mo sinji yo the message now enter into my kingdom. Ba kum Ndzerem say the least privilege imom refen too much. Vera woni ile fufundom utatu kidu afotatu me sha wi Bamenda. I nick them ke woni 6 the 2 adopted. I ninga din sala we abum for the fundom. So ba we register against Moki ba personally we turn their agent where we register as IDPs. Then we training there on how to do little agriculture. So for 20 chicks for each of the IDPs, we have many. Each person for 20 chicks for cage for Wijiki, I mean for a seat. They do the small garden. And you cannot imagine what that did to me and my family at that time. So bad them a great impact in my life and in the life of the masses what people went through and how he helped to change them. So young Reggie, I am going in person. I will try to imitate and to impact other people's lives from what I got through him. We discriminate. So anyway, he listens to everybody despite his tight schedule. So the Sinwalaya, an icon in the world. The world mourns for him. I'm young we were now and embrace Wunji, enter into thy kingdom. You have done what I sent you to do on earth. So life you judge how long you live. Myenji is 55 years so Bawa living Bawa for 1,000 years. And more like so very awesome.
Very for that insight, especially coming from you as an IGP, Akimo, we load our IGP, Bukuwara. So again, very much and able for sharing that with us. Very. Yeah, I'm judging for me actually for me talk about judge Ethiopia on yes. So Kunkela Kela kinyoke yung person na kusila around the upper we care and next proposals. How do we keep this legacy, not just from surface direction, not just from SHUMAS, but also some Kisaji SHUMAS done, SHUMAS do ahead of the humanitarian studies. But we care any suggestions from or actually form I think I can show that we care idea we website I'll see form fast gym contribute and support. Maybe you have an idea just to contribute to support the vision. Click for forming we will affiliate something. It could be sub contributions in terms of idea or just anything. Actually we farming again. In case I want to add we can okay. But if not, more you but share it Chadwin, go ahead. Sorry, I'm not working with you. Go ahead.
Nye survey na affirming badron ikin tachifen power aberi Mr. Ndzerem Stephen for me you personally but you very ferry you why the kinyoke awa yung regime awa continually ya bituwelson asangasa only veteri awa a developmental project was even become not directly lim directly una any so related project wo organize it, but anytime we organize a meeting, kuilom le we. For ye evening, a yuri am urine the whole evening. Ye be a new movie sha mo tu. Trumo jisarbe ka mo alawa a yama a buriwiri ayo drungi ya. Arma laundry in one way or the other. Aqua try for bunria for William Lim for developmental projects, community developmental projects, because more time for me, Batik young folk first ki or for for lim full time, min kina lim in different community development initiatives. So the ma encourage each and every one of us, bunria individually for anybody we know that he or she is engaging in a community development project. Become one vevi ola a kergan sinin sarawa druna a bavevi o na mamevevi o allowance mo sa mena ker win drove nyawne first before we ke si nyam jay o kergan sa drum lawa o samo o kin ye be awne ye lim ye tavini for the community person wawa kui and most of the time allow me person for like the appreciation to them in this mass in this length uni or living so malonji person kwa kume for appreciate ya really answer jona alive so that legacy of adrauni are able for enjoy while they are living and person yellow young for bam uni or wa spirit chefs carry like just part of it. Meanwhile, they had lived part of it personally. In the meantime, ma very time for me, Batsy, Kid personally. And so we organize this event, so family union fan. My own G, time for me, Awaku continue yabe. Alo kid kiga water ad man adam helpy like or hesitating because Yena through the opportunity through the meetings we are organizing where ayo so within the context of the where traditional values were lived through the platforms we are organizing Mali this opportunity for Bero a Berisa Takamfu Okiyong Kinyoke farming AG track wa encourage really our community wa nurasho alo yuayo yukijung kansimo si ako adwa mo chose be fatan and spread this the information about this opportunity ma bear with them.
Very fair, Chalvin, very fair for those words, very, yeah. Yen mo presi jud yongji mo connection ga anisa fola uhuta kutsunse a beri a yongaji ako gara vision wa dwa shofumbi. Asiji ayuti wa kukefo emulate this vision and example. Actually in all these forums, there is a youth forum, there's the youth forum we're creating, but we will do for some time, but that case are challenges, but more thanks to you for Chadwin. Kubonga youth wa giant fadron so that runs the low yen more our name and a key for our continue. So bad for that. Bom mo kun yen jisak de la water we on si kunywa we kunja we draw men ko we on ma shati parang guy we judge of and we fucking at least better mom yen siesa we la we better but yeah so basankwa ku melenji at this point well Ransi Done, for Lembure again, Wasanqua Kumi a program, Gadget, able for do Igobong, our care contribution or for in terms of ideas or thoughts on how we can continue to keep this legacy. Also, Naiji, kwa kumeji ru na ru. The key thing ta kun point time for me young yellow AGG. I will get out expertise, but the more ya waf do kwanyambe. Apfuna bam if a ye one win social mon. Ye one win social mon. Bo bakusan so we do kwanyam la or go asho go on. Kwakira un mon who we are shower share. So at the key thing on college if some go come kuna bear one fee for ye innocent with an fee for legacy world in different areas. Wow, single just summoning this evening. What am I say when I'm very region very in. I'm kola longe ibo sanado more pa at least bo tamako you can for Henok or Miena Anita Jafena. I know it's still difficult for you people, but at least more than Jafena, at least you from the family side, if there is something Ibo Sanado. Yeah. Yes, Mienko, okay, you are we on Enoch? Are you for? Yeah. Low young, you boring kid, you really lot to recognize it. So I unmute you yourself, I think we'll hear you.
I serve you with fuck and ke a berry down for me or lead this initiative on a 5 January yin kuna young age for bawa na ba ya ta lele na ta very proud that yena lim even walim ya I for deny if I call walim kidra ke walo do for granted kuna now just to thank everybody and that they should keep the family in their prayers, pray for us and also pray for the soul of power that wherever Mfoome is, that he should be at the right hand of God. And just to thank everybody also that came up, the support they showed from the ambassadors to everybody. And on behalf of the family, I just want to say thank you to everybody, and also a big thank you to Mfoome Bachi too for all the everything he's been doing, and that I pray that God keep giving everybody the power, the strength to keep doing the works in the community and making so especially a better place.
Okay. No, Berfeye, Bore, Berfeye, Akuya Kereni Bore will be Ibunri. We'll keep remembering you people, especially as these are the fit is not long from here. Really wishing you and the gathering in Maryland that it should be successful, and then also the activities back home. We'll keep having you in prayers. So at this point, we really went beyond time, but really thank you for everyone who has waited and for every contribution. The website still remains the opportunity to keep your tribute if you have something to leave. And let's definitely go keeping our heads high, and we should do so knowing that God is the one that decides, right? We always plan, but God decides. And when he decides, we have to accept, despite how difficult it will be, but he knows best. And we just have to move with what he offers. And then the point should then fall on us. How can we live that impactful life? When we come to this world, we get so much, we receive so much, but how much do we give back? We're learning from how much Pa gave back to the world where he equally had. So let's live an impactful life such that this legacy continues and we continue to live in a way that is appreciated. So Barry, again, President General, Barry, our chairperson, Mr. for Hong Kong, una wijam, Stephen Ndzerem. Yeah.
Very, very tough for me.
Barry, okay. For
Yes.
wijam and a great week. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Barry.
Beri usanwira damfei.
Barry.
Beri.